Lou, they'll space so many, you know, shooters and cutters off of Sabonis. What are some keys for you all in trying to, not allow Domas to get downhill and get to that left hand, but also to be able to spray out to shooters the way you need to?
Really communicate and be aware. I mean, they've been doing a good job of their cutters, and they got pretty good shooters, and he's been doing a good job passing the ball. So really, the communication and everybody be aware, and then we can stop them doing that.
They obviously have Fox back in the lineup. Just when dealing with a guy like him who's such a high volume scorer, what are some of the big keys for you mentally going up against him?
Really make it tough. He's a good player, real fast. So just make it tough. Put my physicality into the game and be smart at the same time. But really make it tough. He's a good player. He's gonna have the ball a lot in his hands. So really, be at him the whole game.
As a defensive-minded guy, Kaysen had an opportunity to go up against Jordan Clarkson the other night. Just what did you think of how he was able to kind of limit him throughout the game?
It was good. I mean, just from the, just him setting the tone was huge. Him just being on the best play on the other team, and that touched the whole team. But from him just doing that, so it was huge that she just did that from the get-go, and he was at it the whole game.
It seems like Shai has obviously benefited from you being out there, from Kaysen being out there at times. Just how do you feel, he's benefited from you two, and just how do you think he's separated himself as a defender among the league?
I mean, Shai's a good defender. I don't think it's no longer in a conversation that Shai is a lack or a lazy defender. Shai's a good defender. Shai is always in a good position. He got great active hands and all that. So we got to give him a lot of credit now that he's a pretty good defender.
Yeah, and I think after Phoenix around the Bay trip we talked about, just the kind of freedom Mark gives you, especially in that game, just deciding what coverages you want to do with KD. Just how have you seen since then some of the freedom he's allowed you, and just some of the other things he's maybe let you guys decide for yourselves?
It's been the same. It's been the same. Just the way that he trusts us on the court. Going against those great players. Sometimes we have so many good defenders on the court that we can sometimes just go and double on our own or anything like that. So it's great for our coach to have trust in us like that.
When you look at the last game here, what can you guys correct to make sure the outcome favors you tonight?
A better start. It's been tough here. They have a really great crowd advantage. That they get a lot and all that. So, we need to have a better starts and trying to sustain the lead the whole game, which has been really hard to do here.
Tuesday night was a big win for Thunder fans with the arena vote passing. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean the Thunder's been in OKC for so long now, and it's great that they're gonna stay there for longer. And then the fans just love us and we love them back. So it's great that they did that for the city.
Lou, over the course of your career, when you've gotten cross-matched and you've had a big on you, and they're giving you a little bit of space to not get blown by. What are some things that you've learned over the course of that time to be able to attack and to be able to kind of make that big man pay?
Just watching film and really seeing what the defense is giving me. They've been throwing a lot of different coverages, not just at me, but at the whole team, and we have to adjust. So really just reading the defense and playing together. Sometimes it's going to be a drive and seeing the floor kicking out. Sometimes it's going to be a drive at the rim and just finishing. So really just reading the game.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou.
Thanks, Lou. The road trip, we're going to see playmaking, big men. Just your thoughts on the way that you guys have handled that to this point, and some things that you all want to continue to hone on that front.
Yeah, I mean, what makes them dynamic, him and Jokic, are the fact that they activate the rest of the team. In Sabonis' case, they get threes just whipping around him, and he's a great quarterback in that way. And then good physicality. Once the action breaks down and he puts his head down, you got to really stand in there and put your body on him. If you're late to contact with him, he really makes you pay, both on the glass and around the basket.
What do you hope to correct from the last game here?
I mean, a lot of our offensive attacks, I thought they ball pressure us and they really, really pack the paint to try to limit the driving. And you've got to kind of, hit the action pretty hard to get to the paint, and then you got to spray the ball out and play on the second side and get either second drives or open shots on that. And I just thought their force was better than our force the last time we played them, and that's an area where we can improve tonight.
When I think back to the last time we were in this building, I think that the start of that fourth quarter is really what opened up the game for them. Just having seen some different late game scenarios since then, just how do you feel the team has adjusted in those late game type situations?
Well, the start of the fourth quarter, that's a critical stretch of time for us, for any team, but certainly for us. And we've played a lot of different units during that period of time and tried to find the best combinations. We're continuing to explore that, but we certainly have to win those minutes more often than not in order to be a good team.
Yeah, and we talked about the challenges of how good of a playmaker Sabonis is, but playing him and then Jokic later in the week, just what are the challenges of playing two guys similar in that sense, just back to back?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is the way that they activate their teammates. Like I mentioned, I think it's one thing if they just lined up and threw the ball to those guys, they'd still be a handful. They're that good as offensive players, but there's kind of a part of the possession even before that they really, really facilitate for their teams, and their teammates know how to really work around them. And with Denver, it's a lot of cutting, and stuff at the basket. With this team, it's the shooters that are running around Sabonis, and then you still have to deal with them in the back part of the possession. So that's why their offenses are so good. Those guys are really, really good players.
And you talked about letting some of these guys make their own decisions. I think back to the Suns game where letting them decide their coverages on KD. Just is there a line with certain things like that and letting players dictate what they want to do?
Well, we're not letting them decide everything, but double teaming in particular is where we've given them a lot of freedom. But even within that, there's guidelines as to when we want to do that, and then they just have to sniff it out in the game. But they're not deciding, what coverages we're playing. They're not, that's game plan stuff that we all kind of have to be on the same page on. But the double teams in particular, if they feel like they have an advantageous opportunity to go double, we let them go double, and that's built really well through the season. We've had a lot of success with that so far.
The arena vote passed. Do you have any thoughts on what happened 2 nights ago?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't going to get in the middle of it. I saw Mr. Bennett's statement, and he expressed gratitude in that. And all I would say is that we have tremendous gratitude as a team and as an organization for our fans and the relationship that we have with the community.
Just with Sacramento and how well they operate in transition, just what have you seen from them and what makes them so effective as a transition offense?
Well, they make you pay on misses because Sabonis is a great rebounder. Fox really pushes the pace. He's a great pace guard. They shoot quick. They have a willingness to shoot quick. They're like Golden State in that way. Like if you're not set, they have multiple guys on the floor that'll just rip a three very early in a possession and do so efficiently. And so that gets you kind of flying to the perimeter, and that opens up stuff for Fox. They're like any good offense in that you kind of have to pick your poison, and in order to slow them down, you've got to be very sharp with multiple things, and so that's our challenge tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.